Hello everyone. So today we're going to be doing a slight science experiment, so to speak. We're going to be doing at least something new for me, UV coating a stickered speed cube. So I've UV coated over lots of different stickers on speed cubes, but I've never done a cube that is completely stickered, like an old-fashioned cube. And this one's especially unique because these are carbon fiber stickers, so they have a texture to them as well. So we're going to go ahead and go into this and see how it goes, and hopefully it goes well. But yeah, I'm going to go through a few quick little prep steps that most people will need to do if you're going to do this DIY at home. I don't really need to do this because this is a brand new cube, but if you have a cube that has been used at all and the stickers have like a dirt or grime at all around the stickers, and you might want to get that clean before you seal it in with a UV coating. So what I usually do is take like an old toothbrush or a new toothbrush you're not going to use, whatever. And I just pretty much go around the edges of the stickers, and I'll pretty much get all of the, filth out of there, wipe it all down, make sure it's all nice and clean. But again, this is a brand new cube, so I don't have that issue, but I wanted to point that out for people. I've also gone around the room with my water sprayer, and I just sprayed the air to hopefully bind to any dust particles that are floating around. So those will hopefully drop down to the ground, and then it'll give us at least some time with, especially since I have animals, I want to try and keep the, dust, dirt, and dander out of the air as long as I can and off of the cube. So I have the light slightly low also because we're UV coating and it's reactive to light. So you don't want it to start curing on you. So we have low light. It's pretty cool in here also. We don't warm. The warmth will also start to cure your UV coating. So those are two things. A kind of a cool, dark room, as clean as you can get it. That's pretty much the way to go. And again, as clean as you can get the cube too, because I've even taken the step of taking alcohol and a paper towel and just simply wiping it down so it's as sterile as possible. Again, it's not the sterility is not the issue. It's just you want it to not have any dust particles or things when you go over it, because you may not think you'd see it, but all of a sudden you'll see this little bump in your UV coating, and it's very irritating. So let's get into this. So I've already started inserting my cardboard, and then I realized I should probably make sure everyone realizes how to do that. So in between every single piece, you want to put a little piece of cardboard, and I don't use like actual cardboard from a cardboard box. That's much too thick. Your cube will end up warping and like spreading outwards, because all these pieces will get so thick in between the pieces that the whole cube starts to get not only does it warp, but it becomes uneven on the top. So the outer pieces will be kind of slanted out, which means your UV coating won't be flat. So you want to use as thin of cardboard as you can, because you want it to stay in cube shape, as close to cube shape as possible, because you want these pieces to be level. So when that self-leveling happens, you don't have any issue. Again, if your pieces are slanted, it's going to start to run off. So we put our small little cardboard slices in between each piece. You go all the way around, and I saved a few just to show you guys. I come from the bottom of the edge here up. It slides in nice and easy. You can see the piece kind of comes up from the bottom up angle, and it kind of comes out the top here, which is perfect. It creates a barrier between there, and if anything were to drip down in, it'll get on the cardboard and not really on the cube. And when you pull the cardboard out, it will pull all UV coating out with it. That's a nice little trick. But yeah, so we want to get a cardboard for each piece. And if you've seen my tutorials on UV coating before, this might be a little repetitive, but I wanted to make sure, if this is new to anyone, that you're getting all the information. So because these are so spread already, like this one, I'm going ahead and stick that in there, but the pieces are somewhat spread apart already from the other ones. So it doesn't do much. It's just it's just making a barrier. So if the UV coating were to get in between there, it would have something to get onto instead of getting onto the plastic. Let's see here. And then I usually leave one last slot. So this last slot right here, I usually leave open. And then what that allows me to paint that center tile. And then once that one's painted, I'll insert the cardboard in there to keep it all protected. But it lets me do nice strokes, because if you notice, if you really like square that off and barrier all sides off, it makes it really hard to get in there with the brush and get a good even coating. So I'll usually wait on that one last piece. I'll put in every single part and every single crack except that one, and then I'll UV coat the center tile first, and then I'll move on to the rest. And like I said, I'll insert that cardboard immediately after. So now you can see a little better. You have cardboard around 3 sides of there, except for that front edge. And that way, again, that'll be our starting point. So I give it one last little blow just to make sure there's no dust on it, because you really, really want to try and keep the dust, dirt, and dander out of here. But let's go ahead and give it a start here. So, and just FYI for everyone, this is still the same bottle I've been using on all of our giveaway cubes and everything. So just as to speaking to how long these bottles last, this is the larger size bottle, and it's done 4 or 5 cubes already, plus it'll do this one. So I think that's pretty good. It's doing pretty well. So like I said, I'll do this center tile first. This is also kind of an experiment to see what does the UV coating look like over these carbon fiber tiles, because like I said, it is a slight difference than a regular, than just a regular sticker. Any other sticker is pretty flat, and really it's pretty straightforward. These carbon fiber stickers are definitely, they have a texture to them. So like I said, once I finish the centerpiece, I'll go ahead and insert that last divider, and I can see the center starting to level. And again, it's kind of, I'm doing it, I was gonna wait and do one piece, but I think it's gonna look just fine. I don't think there's any reason this won't work, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. I was just gonna do the center, I was gonna cure it, and then I was gonna slowly move on, but it's already looking good to me. And I've done enough of these where I think I can kind of tell. So it is a little bit tricky getting the right amount on there. I will say, like, this is why I like this brand. I've said this a lot, is because it's wipe off. So if you, for any reason, get a little too thick of coat or anything on there, you can kind of do a little bit of cleanup and wipe off that excess at the end. But I still try to put on just enough to cover it, where it has enough to self-level and everything, but without like looking too gobbed on there, because you want it to, it's gonna have to, you also don't want it to increase the size of the cube and the weight of the cube by a lot. You want to make sure you're putting on just enough to give you that increase in performance and grip, but you don't really need an extra like 10 grams in weight, so that's something just to be mindful of. I've weighed most of my cubes before and after, and it'll add a few grams if you do it right, but not many. That's why, again, you just want to do just enough to cover it. Nice, even strokes. And once the piece is covered, now you really just want to leave it. That's why I keep just kind of doing one, then I rotate and move on to another one, because now the other ones are all self-leveling while I move on to painting the next one. So that lets, by the time I get done painting the entire cube, the first one should really look pretty much done. And that way it gives you a good idea of what your outcome is going to be like. Like I said, so far all these pieces, it looks really cool actually. And what's nice is it is going to take away the texture of the carbon fiber, of course, because it's going to put a glassy coating over it. So I'm just going to do this one side at first, and then I will cut to the end, because you don't need to sit here and watch me do the entire thing. I think that would get quite boring. So I will do this whole side on the camera, and then I'll continue off camera, and then I'll meet you guys back at the end on the other side. Especially with the low light, because the light's coming at me from like a weird angle, I can see a lot of reflection. So that's one of the things too, where it's not that I'm like that I'm not like that OCD about this where I could just see every little imperfection. It's just that with the light coming, because I have all the lights on over me off, and all the light from over there is on, so I don't have a lot of direct light coming on the cube. And so that light from that harsh angle like that, it's actually giving me a really good view of you know, how flat and how nice these pieces are. And it's looking pretty good. I have to say, if I can just keep this momentum going and keep it nice and clean, it should turn out really nice. And I think this will be about the last cube. I'm getting like a little lower in the bottle, so I would say this is about the last cube I will get out of this bottle of UV coating. And that's really good. I've done two 3x3s, a 2x2, and it could even be another 3x3 as well. It's been a lot of cubes at this point, so all I know is I definitely got my money's worth. This always happens. I always do these projects, and then right as I'm getting into it, I'm like, wow, this looks really cool. And then I have the realization of, oh, and I gotta give this away. I mean, that's the whole point. I want it to be really cool for someone. I hope someone's excited when they get it. I want the winner of the giveaways to be excited when they win, and I want people to be excited about their prize. And so the top side is technically done. It's covered. The last piece is self-leveling. So one thing I've noticed is if you go a little too thin on the coat, when it self-levels, it'll kind of leave like little pits or like spots where there's no gel coat, because as it was leveling, it just didn't have quite enough coating. And that's how you know you didn't put enough, is that as it's self-leveling, if you start seeing little like pits or holes where there's no gel coating, you just didn't put enough. If you just need to go over it, and that's why you wait and let it self-level, because it stays liquid. So even if you need to make an adjustment 5 minutes from now, it should still be liquid. That's the whole idea. So now I can kind of take a look at each piece individually. I can see the reflection on it. I can see that piece has like a dust particle or something on it because it has like a ripple that shouldn't be there. But besides that, it's looking pretty good. So to fix that, essentially we don't want to add any more UV coating. We just want to wipe that piece off. So we're going to go ahead and make a couple wipes, and that dust particle is now gone. And the piece should now self-level itself again. And again, that one kind of had the same thing going on, where like I've noticed on the edge of where the carbon fiber sticker meets the plastic, when you're wiping over it, there's kind of like a gap, or like it didn't get the plastic if you're wiping too fast. So you want to go along the edge of each sticker, if that makes sense. That way it gets in that crack between the sticker and the cube itself, so you don't have like a weird bump or like a weird a weird spot where it didn't get coated. So now I'm gonna do what you should always do, and I hate if I ever forget this step, but go around the cube with your paper towel, with your finger, whatever makes you comfortable. But I just like to go around to make sure I don't have any spillover, because I've had so many like almost perfect jobs, and then I get to the end and it's all UV coated and I see one drip, and I gotta clean off that whole side or that whole piece and start over. And it's not the end of the world, but it's nice when it all comes together and you don't have to redo stuff. And so let's keep an eye on things. So this is the one we redid. Right now I'm just watching to make sure everything's staying the way it is. This is what you want. You want to make sure everything's leveling, and you want to kind of keep it guarded. And that's where, so I'm going to bring in my little curing box here. So it's going to block your vision for a second, but what I'm going to do is set this inside here, because not only this is lined with tin foil or aluminum foil, and what this will do is it not only keeps dirt and whatever from, it's flying in the air, keeps it harder for it to get into it, because it's protected by all this. But it also, because it's lined with aluminum foil, when I go to cure the side with the light, it reflects, and the top side's not so much a big deal, but once you start getting more sides done, it'll reflect all the light and it'll continue curing. So every time you cure a side, it'll keep curing all the other sides. So it's really a cool little trick. It's not a necessity by any means, but I think it works well. Let's scoot that over for a second. I'm just continuing to let it self-level. Again, it could be an imperfection in the plastic. It could be other things. That's why I'm going to give it so much time, and then if it doesn't go away, then it might just be something that's like a little dip or like an imperfection in the carbon fiber part. But so far, it actually, look, the carbon fiber does not seem to be, you can see the carbon fiber patterning through the gel coat, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the nice sheen of it. It's coming out very nice and level, and that's all I care about. That and the grip. The grip is the most important thing, I should say. But yeah, so far we're looking good. And again, it's just a moment. I'll cut you guys to the end and you're going to get to see the finished product. So far, let me pick up the camera here and you guys can take a look. So far, if you can see the reflection at all. A little bit. Yeah, you can see the shine there. So we're just trying to let all of that get nice and level. You can see the shine on the pieces, looks pretty nice. You can see the carbon fiber patterning it all. But just trying to give you a look into what we got going on at this step, because I know it's kind of blocked and that's a kind of annoying. Yeah, it must be at a good temperature and a good lighting in here because it's staying nice and liquid. Because like every time I've gone back to make an adjustment or anything, it's been very easy to do. It doesn't seem to be like, you can feel it if it starts to like solidify early on you as you go to brush on it. Essentially it will start to like drag and it'll like pull pieces off, and you can just tell that it's trying to cure on its own. So let's get our light here. Just grab so again, I use a black light flashlight or a UV flashlight, and then I use an LED. Since the curing light you're supposed to use for these is a UV LED light. Dang, it's starting to look really cool. I'm actually really excited because, like I said, I've never done a full stickered cube. I've done plenty of stickers on cubes, but I've never done a entirely stickered cube. So I'm very excited to see how that comes out. It's looking pretty good. Sorry, I'm just like really staring at every little like, because there's still a couple little waves and stuff, and that's what I'm waiting for it to go away. I don't want to rush this part. So since instead of just filming me staring at the box, I'm gonna cut it for a moment and I'll be right back. So while we're waiting for the UV coating to self-level, I wanted to do a little bit of information. I talked about the prep that goes into this, but I didn't talk about what products we're using and why. And I've just gotten so used to doing this with this product at this point that I kind of forgot to introduce. There's no like sponsorship here or anything. This is just because I believe that this works the best. The brand is Gelish, Gelish. It's called the Top It Off Soak Off Gel Polish Soak Off Sealer Nail Gel. So the reason I use this is because not only is it very user friendly and comes out, I think, the best, but it gives you a lot of flexibility. So at the end, most UV coatings, what you'll do, or gel coats, what you'll do is you'll paint it on, and no matter what, you're going to need to want to let it self-level. But that's where a lot of people fall short. They tend to get impatient. They think it looks level when it still has some waves in it, and then they go ahead and hit it with the light, and the light is what makes it cure and harden. Same with like heat. Heat will also speed up that process. But anyways, like, again, if people rush that process, it doesn't come out very nice. Where this has an extra nice feature though, where like at the end, where most gel coats, once you hit it with the light, you pull the light away, and that is your finished product. Where with this product, when you take the light away, you still have to take a paper towel with some alcohol on it, and you go ahead and wipe off that side, or wipe off that whole, all the pieces that you just gel coated, and it's not going to remove the gel coating. What it's going to do is it continues to cure and harden that gel coating. So instead of being like tacky or like, and somewhat soft or anything, it really gives it a nice, hard, glassy feel. And it's very, like, again, not tacky, but it just gives a lot of grip. When you rub your finger along it, you can feel it pulling. So it has good grip, looks smooth as glass. And again, it's that last wipe off process that I believe gives it that really nice finished look. So I really truly believe in this. I only have 30 seconds left on my timer, so we're getting close here. But I've tried a couple of others that, again, where you didn't do the wipe off, and not only did it not look as good, but it puts on a thicker coating. Because that's something else you have to think about, is that, like I said this earlier in the video, is you don't want to add a bunch of weight or thickness or change the feel or anything. The only feeling you want to change is that it's more grippy, ideally. So by adding there's the timer. So by adding a coating that goes on really thick, and again, you don't wipe off the excess, you just get these really almost like pillowed, like bubbled pieces, because they have so much coating on them. And I think that this goes on nice and thinner at least than most, and that gives you a little bit of room for playing with it. And then you can still continue at the end. After you're done, you can keep going over it with alcohol multiple times, and it'll keep hardening and keep getting more and more cured. So now that our cube, let's take one last look. Does each piece look flat? That's the question, because you can always wait a little bit longer. Here we go, guys. We're gonna go ahead and cure our coating. So real quick, that's a good extra lesson too. So my dog just came to the back door. I had to let her in. But one thing, just don't forget, dust, dirt, and dander. So I immediately ran, washed my hands, washed my arms, brushed myself off, really tried to get myself clean, because it's the one thing that'll really affect that really perfect outcome. Because that, again, you can get a nice looking cube, with a lot of different products, but I'm really striving for that like perfectly glass finish. So that's just one little tip, because I commonly forget. I have a cat and a dog, and it's easy to go pet them or something, come back to work and forget that that's exactly what you're not supposed to do. So again, wash your hands, just get nice and clean. I resprayed the air with the water bottle just to be safe. But yeah, our pieces look good. So I'm gonna go and hit them with the light. See right there, dog hair started falling. It's gonna happen. So just try and be as vigilant as you can. Oh, this looks so cool. Oh man. So when you hit the gel coating with the black light, it glows very much. Like, just like if you've ever seen a black light on like a white shirt or something, it glows really bright. So the gel coat itself glows almost like it's white. So you can see also like where you've gel coated and where you haven't. Here we go. So as you can see, here, let me real quick see what that looks like. It looks pretty cool. And then you can see how even it is, because there would be ripples, there would be parts that would be thicker than others. And this is where, again, not only can you go and this is where I like this better than the nail lamp, because I can go and really focus on each piece. I can just sit it right over the center and get all of them. I can also check, like I said, how nice it is, the amount of imperfections and like dust and whatnot on there, because with the flashlight you really can see the glare. So this is my chance to really get to inspect how it came out, and it's looking amazing. So the bottle itself says it only requires like 30 seconds of curing time. I figure it doesn't hurt to do a little more, so I'll do 2 minutes just because, again, it's not going to hurt anything. And once it gets hardened, even if it's like bringing it out of the box and exposing it to the more air and more dust and whatnot, it's not such a big deal once it started hardening, because again, we're going to do a wipe off. So if dust falls on it at this point, because I bet you it's already hard. But the thing is because this brand, it never truly gets hard until you wipe it off. So like it's gonna be like even after like I could get it 5 minutes under this lamp, and then I could touch it afterwards and you'd see a fingerprint. But then as soon as you pull all the cardboards out and you go over it with the alcohol and paper towel, all of those fingerprints, the dust particles, everything's going to get wiped away. So if it fell on there or if it messed up the coating after it started to harden, it's really not a big deal because that wipe off is going to take all those imperfections out. And that's what I meant when it's user friendly. It's really nice. It gives you a little bit of wiggle room to like, oh, that's not perfect. Let me see if I can wipe that part off and get this to look right. And that's big to me. I've said this a few times before, but I watched if you want to get another tutorial, he does a really good job on it. He just uses a different brand, and that's the only difference in our methods, really. And I think that's what you can see it. His looks beautiful. The quality, he lets it self-level. He lets it come out very nice. It's the guy from Maru Labs. So again, he does a great job. So my timer's going off. So we've been on here for like 5 minutes already. That's far long enough. So this is what I always do though. Like even though we've been on here for so long, I'll go to each piece now, and just for a few seconds, I will really shine on each individual piece. And again, I can see just how perfect it came out. I can see every little bit. It's because it's glassy now. Oh man. And you can see the pattern of the carbon fiber stickers through the glassiness of the UV coating. Okay, this is probably the most like over-cured side ever, but I just want it to come out really nice. I'm really excited about this. Okay, so as soon as you're done with your light, I always say you should probably be wearing some type of glasses because it's not great to have UV light shining in your face. That's why they have them in a dome like that, usually on the nail lamps, because it just, I don't think it's good to be staring at. I mean, afterwards, my eyes usually feel like they look a little funny. I mean, it's just like anyone that's ever told you don't stare at the sun. So I'm just gonna pull all these pieces out. Because again, any gel coating that might have gotten into the cube or inside into the internals, it gets on these and then it comes out as you pull it. So now what we're gonna do, so I actually recommend the blue shop towels. I'm just out of them. They don't have as much like debris that comes off them. I don't like how in paper towels you sometimes get like little bits of, like, I mean, if you get the nicer ones, they don't fall apart as much, but you get those little particles sometimes. But these paper towels are pretty good. So it's all about the quality of the tools you're using, really. That's why I emphasize a lot on the brand of the UV coating or the gel coating that I use, is because I think it makes a huge difference in the outcome. And I'm giving it a nice wipe down all the edges. I'll even start like kind of opening up the cracks or opening up between the layers. Just with my hand here, just start pulling like kind of the layer open like that and just getting the inside edges. Because the very last thing you do too when you get done with the cube is you go through, well, at least what I do is I go through the entire cube with like a little flathead screwdriver, like a really little one like this. And I just will go through and just kind of like hit the edges, inside edges like this. And if there was to be any gel coating, it flicks right off. So I don't ever have really a performance issue with that. Like people say, oh, it might affect the performance, but if you make sure to get all the gel coating out, like, 'cause again, your cardboard pieces should do like 90% of that job for you, but if there is anything that drips in there, you just make sure to go in and get it. So we have our side UV coated. So you can see the shine, and you can see the carbon fiber patterning underneath. Oh, this is so cool. Whoever gets this is so lucky. I kind of actually want this. This is just like even if this wasn't your main, this is such a cool collector's item. Look at that carbon fiber like pattern, like weaving underneath the UV coating. It looks so cool. Oh my gosh. Oh man. And this has already been magnetized. I did that already. So the UV coating is really the last step. The UV coating and then lube. Oh man, I can't wait to have this be the feeling of the whole cube. All right, so I'm gonna get going on finishing the rest of the sides. So pretty much I'm gonna rinse and repeat. Then this is where, because this side's already done, this is where it has a big advantage going into the box, because then as I'm curing, when I'm finally ready for the light, it's going to reflect off of all the aluminum foil and keep curing the other sides. So it'll just continue to harden and keep curing this while curing the top. But yeah, essentially I'll just keep changing what's on top and keep UV coating until the whole entire cube's finished. And at that point, I'll get back to you guys so you can see the finished product. Thanks for watching so far, and don't leave now because you haven't seen the finished product yet, and that's going to be the best part. I'm really excited for it. I really didn't know how this is going to come out. I just figured, oh, it's going to be a UV coated cube, but this looks really cool. I have to say, this is one of the cooler looking mods that I've done, just because the way the carbon fiber looks through the UV coating, it looks so neat. And you just catch it at certain angles in the light, and you're like, oh man, that looks so cool. So yeah, see you guys in a minute. Yellow, everybody, welcome back. So I'm finally on our last side here of our UV coating project. It's turned out very nice. So this side is done. I just wanted you guys to see how cool this looks, how those black stickers go from black to blue. And you can just kind of see how cool. And again, you can see like that foggy white color, that's actually the gel coating on there. So like I said, you can see if you've done a good even job on there, when you hit it with the black light, that kind of foggy look should be covering the pieces pretty evenly, which it is. And you get the light over all of them. And that's what I was saying. You can really like go ahead and go back and check your work after all is said and done. You can see certain pieces it's a little bit thicker in spots, but it is level. It's not bumpy or wavy. So even if ooh, this is actually pretty hard. It's not much to even wipe off. So I just wanted you guys to get to see what it looks like. Oh, there's a little bit. So what I mean when I say there's not much to wipe off is, again, this is a wipe off gel. So at the end, even after you're done curing with the light, you still need to take these out and wipe it off with alcohol. So we're going to do that and take a look at our last piece. So you can see it kind of got binded to the center cap, and when I pulled it out, it just pulled all the excess gel coating that was really kind of like that had gotten into the inside, and it just yanked it right out because it's been solidified now. So it's a hard little blob. And even same with if you go back and, like I was saying, go through the layers with a screwdriver and just make sure you got all the little bits out. They flake right out because they're now a little hard piece of plastic. It's not like it's not subtle. It's very obvious. You can see a little chunk of plastic and you just flick it right out of there. But yeah, and since the whole thing is done, we can essentially go over the entire cube now with alcohol, because alcohol just continues to cure. Both the light, the heat, and the alcohol all will continue to cure this, and that's why they want to wipe off. On the label, they tell you actually to wipe it off at the end, because there's an excess. And I probably should have shown you, but when I went to wipe it with my finger and I said, "Oh, there's not much to wipe off," I didn't feel any gel coat, but there were fingerprints and it was on my finger. I just didn't feel it. So there is that's that extra layer I'm talking about, where if that was any other brand, that would all just be solidified on your cube and you would have a really thick layer. Where this one, it probably wipes like half. I mean, maybe that might sound wasteful, but I would rather have a lighter coat that stays on my cube than have a huge giant gob on each side but not feel like I wasted my gel coat. I'd rather wipe half of it off and have this beautiful end product. Okay, I think we have the final product. I'm just making sure all the alcohol and fingerprints and all that are wiped off. Just bear in mind there's always going to be a few fingerprints, so don't hold that against me. Ooh, I can feel it. Feels glossy but grippy at the same time. So there's no change in the turning. I will obviously go through and double check in between, but I was very careful not to get any in the internals, and I mean, it doesn't feel any different. Once in a while, you'll feel something, and then you can just go through and like, oh, there's a little piece of gel coat, but you get it out. But this one, that doesn't even feel like anything. And here we go. So here is the UV coated, carbon fiber stickered Meilong. And like I said, when the light hits it just right, you can still see the like cross hatching of the carbon fiber sticker, which is so cool. That's why when someone gets this in person, they're gonna really appreciate it, I think, a little more than you can on camera, because it looks so cool how it's glossy and shiny, and you touch it, you don't feel any of that. You don't feel the sticker on there because now it's a flat layer. You just feel a better grip. Oh man, this is cool. This is probably one of my favorite ones I've ever UV coated, just because usually it just makes matte plastic glossy. I mean, that's cool, but this has a very different look to it and a very different feel, because it was so scratchy almost. Those carbon fiber stickers are kind of scratchy, and now it's so nice and glossy, but also, I mean, it really came out nice. So there's a little bit of fingerprints and whatnot on there, but hopefully you guys can see really how good that came out. And it's deceiving. It's harder to see how perfect the sheen is because there's stickers under there, because instead of seeing the perfect sheen of the glossiness, you start to see the carbon fiber sticker. Like, you can see how, I love how you can see the texture of the sticker through the UV coating, but you can't necessarily feel it. I really like that. So that's our cube. Again, I'm going to run through the process with you real quick one last time. Make sure that you guys have everything that you need. So you obviously want to get this brand, Gelish, top it off. That's my personal favorite. I'm getting down to the end. Like, I could actually probably do one more cube with that, but it'd be cutting it close. But that one bottle now has done at least 5 cubes. So definitely worth the money. It's like $9, $10 plus shipping on the website I get it from. Over our final steps here, we're gonna go ahead and get our cube uncoated, untouched, brand new. And if it's not brand new, I want to say make sure you take your tool here and you clean around all your stickers, because you want to get that dirt and grime out before you seal it in. But first you want to go ahead and clean the side of the cube you're going to be working on first for the tool. Then you want to clean it with a alcohol wipe. And then once it's fully clean and sterile, go ahead and put your cardboard pieces in. And remember, thinner the better for cardboard pieces, because you put thick cardboard pieces in and your whole cube's going to start to kind of morph and warp. And you can see these pieces won't be flat when they do self-leveling. So you want to put in the smallest cardboard as possible to keep the top of the cube flat as it's, and even where it's sitting, you want to make sure it's not like there's a little screwdriver. Make sure you don't accidentally set it on top of something where it's unlevel. As you can see here, this is not level. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and let that level and go eat dinner or whatever. This is all going to slide off the edge and run right off, and you're going to be really sad when you have to redo it. So just make sure you set it down on a level surface. Make sure that the pieces are as level as possible. Give it the best chance to look nice. Give it 5 to 10 minutes to self-leveling at least. And then go ahead and once you feel like it looks right, do one last inspection for like dust particles, little hairs or anything that could have fallen in there. Then go ahead and take your light, whether it's a nail lamp or one of these flashlights. You want 30 seconds to 2 minutes. That's about the time range I recommend. It depends on the product, but this one only says 30 seconds, but I like to go a little longer. Once you light cure that side of the cube, give it 30 seconds to 2 minutes, Okay, 30 seconds or 2 minutes has gone by. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull all of our cardboard pieces out. We're gonna go ahead and take our same alcohol wipe or a new alcohol wipe, either way. Give it a good wipe. Even get a new one and do it again. You really can't overdo the alcohol wipe. It keeps continuing to cure and make this more glassy and really nice. So I'm going to keep going over it probably like all day and night. I'll probably wipe it 10 more times just to make sure it has a really nice flat but glassy finish. But so you can see here, this is what I'm talking about. Look at that grippiness. The grip is what we're looking for, and we got that. We got the nice Nice shine. There's no ripples. We got our magnets in there, as you can see. Click, 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 click. But just light magnets. I did the light magnet set this time. UV coating came out great. And then the last thing is really just take some kind of small tool. Like I use this little tiny flathead screwdriver, and I will open up the layers, and I'll just run my screwdriver along the inner edge of all these pieces. And I mean, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but there's just nothing in there. Like I said, I did a really good job of keeping all the contaminants out this time. And if there is any little like tiny bit of gel coat, it'll look like a little clear piece of plastic, and you simply just want to flick it out. So I'll go through the top layer and then do each one of the sides the same way, and just to double check that it's all perfect. But you can feel it. If you would feel also if there was gel coat inside, it would feel different. So now I'm going to go ahead and lube it. That's the next step in this giveaway process. I just wanted you guys to see the finished product here. We have a magnetized UV coated Meilong that just needs its premium lube setup, and it's ready to go. Yeah, it needs to be set up a little bit. I have done no setup. I haven't even done any tensioning on this yet. This is at the stock tension out of the box still. So good luck to everyone in the giveaway. Remember, like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't already. That gets you entered. We also have our 500 subscriber giveaway coming up, which that's a great prize. It's probably going to be something like either a $50 gift certificate to the Cubicle or somewhere, or I'll let you simply pick out a cube, and if you want me to mod it, I'll discuss that with the winner. But essentially, the winner is going to be able to choose their prize. So look forward to that. Also, the winner could be an international winner. This is our first worldwide giveaway, so that's something to look forward to as well, because we haven't been able to accommodate a lot of the other people in other countries so far. So yeah, look forward to the 500 giveaway. Winner being someone possibly from another country. It could be from anywhere. So it could be from the United States too. So we'll see. Good luck, everyone. I wanted you to see what you're actually, entering to win. This is just our standard weekly giveaway. And again, you get to pick the prize for the 500 subscriber giveaway. So good luck to everyone, and we'll see you soon. Hopefully one of you soon will get to try this out. It is an awesome cube. But yeah, it really came out good. And I love that you can see the texture through the UV coating. All right, you guys, you have a great night, and I hope that helped. If you have any questions, you can always comment and ask questions, or you can find my email in my description on my channel. It is just thecubechemist@gmail.com. So if you have any other further questions, please leave them there. And I hope you guys have a beautiful night. Take care.